Well, we are definitely feeling the heat across the coastal bend as we're heading into our Monday afternoon. The heat risk is going to be in the moderate category for almost all of us today, with a couple pockets of the minor heat risk. We'll take a closer look at those feels like temperatures for you coming up in our full 7-day forecast.
From Corpus Christi to Rockport, I'll show you where to go if you want a front row view of this year's fireworks for your 4th of July celebrations.
It's prom season once again in Alice, but the dance floor was reserved for a very special group. I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice, and I'll show you how seniors of a different kind experienced a milestone some missed as teens.
Hey there, folks. You are watching Chris 6, and of course, you're with the Hoffmans today. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Yes, the whole team is back to help you get started with your Monday. Let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones.
Well, hey there and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a look at some of our weather headlines as we're heading out there. Expecting partly cloudy mornings this week, but mostly sunny afternoons. That's going to help our daytime highs rise right on up into those lower 90s. Feeling, of course, like those triple digits, unfortunately, as we're heading out there. Rain chances still remaining minimal as we're heading through the work week ahead. That's due to the ridge of high pressure overhead. Going to be expecting plenty of sunshine. The other end of that, we're going to be expecting some pretty breezy conditions for our Monday. Sustained winds getting closer to 20 miles an hour out of the south and southeast. Those wind gusts, though, that's going to push 25 to 30 miles an hour as we're heading into this afternoon. Definitely something you're going to notice on that commute back home, and just if you're going to be out and about any time this afternoon. This starts to come down a little bit as we're heading into tomorrow, but nonetheless, the National Weather Service has issued a small craft advisory in effect for all the bays and waterways. This is going to be through 7 p.m. this evening for a pretty breezy Monday on the way, but like we talked about, not expecting much in terms of that rain. Either way, we'll give you a look at that future tracker that's coming up in our 7-day forecast. Roadwork is set to get underway today at the intersection of Staple Street and Everhart Road. The inner lanes of Everhart will be closed. Motorists going eastbound on Everhart will not be allowed to turn left onto Staple Street. The closure for street repairs is expected to last until Thursday.
My inbox has been blowing up with this question. Where are the best places to watch 4th of July fireworks? Well, I have you covered with where you need to be for the best views this Independence Day. If you're staying in Corpus Christi, you can't go wrong with the Mayor's Big Bang Fireworks Show. For one of the best views, head to the bayfront, the seawall, or the T-heads, where many onlookers watch from their boat decks. And trust me, Brian and I have watched it from there before. It's an incredible spot. If you want to make a whole evening, restaurants like Retro Corpus, Gallery 41, and the USS Lexington Museum are hosting special watch parties. You can also enjoy festivities at Cole Park before the fireworks light up the sky at 9:30 p.m. Heading to Port Aransas, the fireworks launch from Roberts Point Park at 9 p.m. But don't wait until dark. The celebration starts at 4 p.m. with food, music, and family-friendly fun before the big show. If you're spending the 4th on North Padre Island, it would be hard to miss the Island Blast fireworks display. I've met with organizers before, and one thing that makes this event so special is that it's completely funded by community donations. They say Whitecap Boulevard offers one of the best viewing spots, and if you're lucky enough to live on the canals, you may even be able to watch right from your own dock. Fireworks begins at 9 p.m. And if Rockport is your destination, you're in for a classic Texas tradition. The 60th annual Wendell Family Fireworks Display will light up the skies over Aransas Bay. Some of the best viewing spots: Broadway Fulton Beach Road, Highway 35 near Little Bay, Rockport Beach Park, and the Rockport Marina Seawall.
With the 4th of July just days away, there are some warnings for you folks. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, here are some of the tips to keep in mind. First, never allow children to play with or ignite fireworks, including sparklers. Remember, it is illegal to set off fireworks within city limits. Keep a bucket of water or garden hose handy just in case of a fire. Be sure to light fireworks one at a time and move back quickly. An important note: never try to relight or pick up a firework that has not fully ignited. And finally, never use fireworks while impaired by alcohol or drugs.
Now, folks, a report from the Consumer Product Safety Commission shows there were 15 firework deaths last year and about 13,000 injuries involving sparklers. Last year, 22% of injuries involved heads, faces, and ears. 35% of the injuries were on the hands and fingers.
It is opinion day at the Supreme Court. There are 8 cases still pending, and 7 of them are considered major cases. So we are all but guaranteed to get a major decision this Monday morning. So let's take a look at what we're waiting for.
The remaining major cases fall into 3 main categories: elections, presidential power, and transgender rights. On elections, there are 2 cases pending. One focuses on whether states can accept mail-in ballots that are postmarked by Election Day but arrive later. The case stems from Mississippi that allows postmarked ballots to be received up to 5 business days later. An opinion here could impact vote-by-mail deadlines in at least 15 states. The other election case is on campaign finance law and whether a federal law that limits how much political parties can spend in coordination with candidates is a violation of the First Amendment. There are 3 cases dealing with presidential power. 2 stem from President Trump trying to fire a member of a federal board. One was Lisa Cook, who's on the board of governors for the Federal Reserve. The other is Rebecca Slaughter. She was a commissioner on the Federal Trade Commission. For both the Federal Reserve and the FTC, federal law requires any president to have cause to fire one of the members. The third case is on President Trump's executive order trying to end birthright citizenship for undocumented immigrants and people who are in the U.S. on a temporary visa. Then there are 2 cases centered on transgender athletes. Those lawsuits stem from Idaho and West Virginia. Both states have bans on transgender women and girls competing in sports. The athletes in both those cases argue that the state bans violate Title IX, which prohibits sex discrimination at schools and school activities.
We never know what cases the court is going to hand down or how many. The Supreme Court will start announcing decisions at 10 a.m. Eastern. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Rescue teams are racing against time in Venezuela 4 days after 2 powerful earthquakes struck. I'm Holly Davis with the headlines we're covering at Scripps News. The government reports at least 1,450 people are dead, thousands more missing, and rescuers are still pulling survivors from the rubble, giving grieving families reason to hold on to hope. But the government is facing growing criticism that its response has been inadequate. The U.S. and Iran have agreed to stop launching attacks for now. A Trump administration official announced that stand down on Sunday after days of back and forth strikes. The fighting began when Iran attacked 2 vessels in the Strait of Hormuz last week. Ships can now move freely through the strait again. U.S. and Iranian representatives are set to meet on Tuesday for more talks. And the Supreme Court is wrapping up one of its most consequential terms in years. Justices are expected to rule this week on President Trump's efforts to restrict birthright citizenship, fire heads of independent agencies, and remove a sitting Federal Reserve governor. The court is also deciding whether states can ban transgender girls and women from public school and college sports. By tradition, the court finishes its work before July 4th.
I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice. For one unforgettable afternoon, age was just a number as the Alice Housing Authority rolled out its 3rd annual senior prom.
With music filling the room, these seniors took to the dance floor. Photos were taken to remember the memories made with friends. For many of these seniors, it was a prom night they never had the chance to experience when they were younger.
Pues quisiera que hubiera habido, ¿verdad? No había esas ocasiones, pero sí quisiera que hubiera habido algo porque es algo muy bonito.
Annabelle Barrera Alanis tells me she attended school in Mexico, where a prom wasn't part of her school experience. Now, she wouldn't miss this event.
Mi opinión es que es algo muy bonito para los residentes de aquí, de High Rise, y es algo especial para que la gente venga y se divierta y pase un buen tiempo.
She says it's a dream come true for many seniors. The event gave them a chance to dress up, dance, and celebrate life, proving that some of the best memories can be made at any age. Janice Rounds also missed out on prom when she was younger, but she says it's never too late to make new memories.
When I didn't go to school to go to my prom, at least, now I'm older, it's better. I liked it.
Round says the best part of the day was simply being surrounded by friends, music, and the community.
Well, it'll be something to enjoy, have fun, enjoy the food, enjoy the people.
Everyone I spoke with told me they hope to continue the tradition going for years to come. I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice, Chris 6 News.
Watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
A stone's throw from the clock tower in the heart of downtown Chelsea stand the landmark Jiffy storage silos, together holding about 1 million bushels of wheat. The iconic little blue box of Jiffy muffin mix is pictured prominently nearby, all part of the expansive headquarters of Chelsea Milling Company, home to Jiffy retail and food service mixes. I was excited to get a behind-the-scenes tour.
When did you build this new building?
We built this warehouse in 2022.
President and CEO Howard S. Holmes II walked me through the mill, a fifth-generation family-owned business. You started here in the summers working as a high school student.
Yeah, it was a great way to learn the business inside and out.
His great-great-grandfather, Harmon Samuel Holmes, got into the flour milling business here in Chelsea in 1901, back when Main Street was still a dirt road and the horse and buggy was the main mode of transportation. Future generations of Holmes family members have carried on the legacy, including Howard's dad, former IndyCar driver Howdy Holmes, who spent 20 years in motorsports before returning to the company, each leader moving the business forward.
Your great-grandmother, Mabel White Holmes, came up with the Jiffy recipe. How did this happen?
Yeah, so at the time it was all scratch baking. She had a few of her son's friends over and peered into one of their lunches that one of the boys brought over and saw what she is said to have described as a white hockey puck of a biscuit. And that was the light bulb moment. She said, look, we run this flour mill. What if we made a product that was so easy anybody could do it? And so that was the birth of Jiffy Mix.
The first prepared baking mix sold to the public, Just Add Milk. It was launched in April of 1930 in the midst of the Great Depression. Mabel would go on to become president of the company and help the Jiffy brand become a household name. This machinery was added in the 1940s to ramp up production.
It's surreal seeing something I saw in my mom's pantry my whole life just coming down the conveyor belt like this.
Yeah, and it's been doing that for almost 100 years.
The Jiffy Mix brand really took off after the corn muffin mix launched in 1950, taking the company from a regional to a national manufacturer. No traditional TV or print advertising, just word of mouth.
As you walk through this store, you kind of come into the modern side of Chelsea Milling's manufacturing business.
It was a 5-year process to add all high-speed, automated, vertical form, fill and seal packaging equipment for their retail business.
Where does the quintessential Jiffy muffin corn mix fit in terms of your overall sales?
That's number one.
It is still number one.
By a mile.
Jiffy's Corn Muffin Mix is the #1 dry grocer item in the country, one of 14 Jiffy Mix products.
If you were to come here in November, this whole warehouse will turn over in about a week.
Really?
Yeah. It's a lot of product.
That is.
In 2004, Chelsea Milling Company got into the food service business, selling in bulk under the CMC trademark around the world.
Airlines, cruise ships, restaurants, bars. The Navy is one of our customers, something we're very proud of course.
Food service now accounts for roughly half their business, necessitating this new warehouse built in 2022. Of course, I couldn't finish my tour without a taste test with the R&D department.
So these are our hot honey pizza muffins made out of our newest mix, hot honey corn muffin.
The new flavor has a sweet and spicy kick, showcased well in their new test recipe.
Here we go.
I love these.
So good.
But Holmes says you can't create these incredible products without a tremendous team. Jiffy employs 362 people. Some have worked there for more than 40 years. Proud members of the community, giving back to good causes and helping feed America in a jiffy.
As you may know, we'll have various stories celebrating America leading up to our nation's 250th celebration.
Exactly, and you can check them out on our website. All you have to do is go to christv.com/America250, and there you will find different stories highlighting our nation. On the evening of July 4th, we'll have a 1-hour program for our America 250 special right here on Chris 6. It starts at 6 o'clock.
Tesla has quietly settled a lawsuit over a fatal 2023 crash in Arizona involving its self-driving system. 71-year-old Jonna Story was struck and killed by a Tesla Model Y while helping direct traffic. The settlement ends a case filed by her daughter. The terms were not disclosed. The crash prompted a federal safety investigation that has since escalated, with regulators warning Tesla's technology may fail to detect hazards in poor visibility. The company says it has upgraded its cameras and continues to work with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Lululemon's bruising boardroom battle is over. Shareholders have elected 3 management-backed directors, including former Levi Strauss CEO Chip Bergh, in a settlement with founder Chip Wilson. 2 of Wilson's own nominees also joined the board, bringing its strength to 11. The deal gives incoming CEO Heidi O'Neill space to refocus the athleisure brand amid falling sales, rising competition, and a stock price that's been cut in half over the past year.
Well, hey there, Coastal Bend. Taking a look at our future tracker as we're heading through our Monday. Plenty of sunshine on the way as we're heading out there. That's going to help our daytime highs go right on up into the upper 80s and the lower 90s as you work your way inland. Still those upper 80s along the coast, but when you take into account that humidity that's out there, we're all feeling closer to that triple-digit mark. And with that humidity, that does lead to some of the partly cloudy skies as we're waking up for our Monday morning and Tuesday morning, of course. But with that high pressure overhead, that's where we're seeing plenty of sunshine come out as we're heading into the afternoons. By tomorrow afternoon, looking pretty similar to what we're experiencing for our Monday afternoon, right back up into those lower 90s, and feels like temperatures right back up into those lower triple digits. In terms of the full moon, that's coming out as we're heading into tonight. This month's moon going to be the full strawberry moon as we're heading out there. Rises at 8:41 p.m. and looking like it could be pretty good viewing conditions for it. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast with daytime highs about 91, if not 92 degrees. Overnight lows in the upper 70s the entirety of the forecast.
It's a race against time in Venezuela after that country was rocked by a pair of powerful earthquakes. Thousands are missing. The death toll is expected to rise. Dozens of buildings have collapsed, many more damaged, including in the capital of Caracas. Authorities telling residents avoid homes with structural damage, and earthquake experts saying there are several factors that played a role in these quakes.
One is the tectonic risk, of course. There's the density of populations, and then it's how the infrastructure has been built. And certainly in the past, Caracas in Venezuela has not well prepared for earthquakes. And if you look at the building codes and if you look at how these buildings are built, that is one of the main reasons why we're seeing such a catastrophe.
Venezuela's acting president saying the government was creating a $200 million reconstruction fund for hospitals and houses damaged by the quake. She has instructed the economy and finance minister to oversee the effort.
You are watching Chris 6, a part of the Scripps News Group.
Well, hey there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Starting us off with our Lion of Utah Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Tank Hood on the board, and as we're heading out there for Tank's walk, definitely feeling the humidity this morning. 81 degrees by 7 a.m. up to 87 as we're heading out towards 10 a.m. and wind-wise also a little breezy as we're heading out there. That's out of the south closer to 15 miles an hour this morning, pushing 20 miles an hour as we're starting to head into the afternoon. Keep in mind those peak wind gusts, that's going to push closer to 25 and 30 miles an hour. In terms of our heat risk today, most of us dealing with a moderate heat risk, so looking like a good one to bring that extra water bottle along or just extra methods to stay cool as we're heading out there. Slightly gets better as we're heading into our Tuesday with the minor heat risk for most of our inland neighborhoods, but still a good swath of moderate heat risk right here along the coast, and that's also going to continue into our Wednesday. So something to keep in mind as we're getting ready to enter July already. Going to be pretty toasty as we're heading out there through the next few days, and really for the whole 7-day forecast. Daytime highs in the 90s, overnight lows nearing 80 degrees.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. Thank you so much for starting your day with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman.
Well, howdy and happy Monday, Coastal Bend. Taking a look through our feature tracker as we're heading through the day. Going to expect any of that cloud cover that's out this morning to start burning off as we're heading into the afternoon. Daytime highs going to round out in those lower 90s for most of us, even a couple mid 90s towards Duval County and the upper 80s right along the coast. But taking into account that humidity, all of us feeling like the upper 90s and lower triple digits as we're heading out this afternoon. By tonight, holding on to a decent amount of mugginess. Overnight lows still in those upper to mid 70s for most of us and some lower 80s as you work your way closer to the coast. A few more clouds similar to what we're seeing this morning with that extra morning cloud cover, but with the high pressure overhead, that's leading to plentiful sunshine as we're heading into the afternoon. Daytime highs once again to the lower 90s as we're heading out for our Tuesday, and of course feeling like those triple digits once again. Unfortunately, the rain or the humidity not translating much into rain chances. Going to see those remain at the unlikely to stray category as we're heading through this week with that high pressure really dominating the forecast. Could still see a sea breeze shower as we're heading out there, but mostly looking dry and warm through the 7-day forecast. Timbergate Drive construction is now complete. All lanes are open on the south side thoroughfare after complete road reconstruction. The $4.73 million project includes new curbs, gutters, sidewalks, and multi-use sidewalk paths.
Good morning, I'm Del Walters. Here's what's happening today. Luigi Mangione due back in court on Monday. The hearing is part of his federal murder trial. He's accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last year. Monday's hearing will finalize the trial schedule and questions for the jury. Mangione won't face the death penalty in this federal case. The 28-year-old is also facing state charges in connection with the killing in New York State. Alex Murdaugh will be in court on Monday, first time since his double murder convictions were overturned last month. Murdaugh was granted a retrial after the South Carolina Supreme Court found that a former clerk improperly influenced jurors. The high-profile lawyer was convicted of killing his wife and their 22-year-old son. He's still in prison, though, after being sentenced on financial crimes. Wimbledon gets underway Monday in London, also marking the return of Serena Williams. She hasn't played since 2022. She'll compete in the doubles tournament with her sister Venus.
The World Cup knockout stage is now underway. One city hosting round of 32 games, Dallas. It's the same city that saw Lionel Messi score his record-breaking World Cup goal against Austria. The passion for the Argentinian star has left a mark. An artist spent about a week in the blaring sun and a bit of pelting rain working on a mural paying tribute to Argentina and Messi. It features elements from Argentina's flag and popular fan chants. The mural is one of several being painted in Dallas to celebrate the teams playing World Cup matches in the area.
Messi's pretty beastly in the field, so yeah, he's pretty much the Michael Jordan of football. I had a lady come by and kiss the mural, kissed Messi. That was pretty interesting. A lot of people really love it, man. Tons of pictures, tons of tags that I'm getting tagged on and stuff like that. Really proud of it too, man. I'm glad I did it justice, and I'm glad I made Argentina proud, and hopefully they'll take the cup this year.
Dallas will be hosting matches all the way up to the semifinals of the World Cup. Opioid-involved overdose deaths are on a downward nationwide trend, according to the CDC. But some doctors and recovery specialists say the real fight is preventing patients from ever needing those drugs in the first place. For years, patients recovering from knee or hip replacements were prescribed dozens of opioid pills. At Jupiter Medical Center in Florida, orthopedic surgeons use the Enhanced Recovery After Surgery protocol. It's a way to manage pain before, during, and after the procedure. So many patients never need strong opioid medications at all. It's not about cutting opioids out completely, but avoiding unnecessary risk.
Instead of chasing pain, it's a way of trying to stay ahead of pain, have less pain afterwards with less need for opioids.
Patient April Stubbs says it worked.
I never had to touch the more serious pain medications, opioids, or never even had to take any.
The system combines robotic, minimally invasive surgery, targeted numbing, and a timed schedule of non-opioid medicines given before, during, and after the procedure. Dr. Noble says cutting opioid exposure after surgery isn't just about recovery. It's about giving patients their best chance at a healthy, addiction-free future.
was a big weekend for Democrats from across the state and included big names like Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker. We'll take you there coming up.
Plus, a dance floor for a special group of partygoers. The experience for seniors they may have missed as teens.
And after a series of strikes from both sides over the weekend, President Trump now saying we may once again be going to war. We'll take a deeper dive coming up.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Well, starting us off with our Lion of Utah Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Tank Hood on the board. As we're heading out there for Tank's walk, definitely holding on to plenty of that humidity. Still in the 80s this morning, pushing 88 degrees as we're heading towards 11 a.m. Also a little breezy out of the south and southeast, closer to 15 to 20 miles an hour. That's the sustained wind. Peak gusts pushing closer to 25 and 30 miles an hour. As we're heading out there this afternoon, expecting that daytime high to round out around 92 degrees here in Corpus Christi with a breezy Monday on the way, of course. Going into tonight, definitely feeling that the mugginess and the humidity in the air. Overnight low is going to bottom out in those upper 70s for most of us, maybe even some lower 80s right along the coast, and then just about a rinse and repeat forecast as we're heading into our Tuesday afternoon. Right back towards the lower 90s for daytime highs. Plenty of sunshine as we're heading out there, and not too much change as we're heading through the 7-day forecast either. About 91 to 93 degrees for the daytime highs through the whole forecast. Overnight lows following that same trend, about 77 or 78 degrees.
After 3 days of speeches, strategy sessions, and campaign rallies, Texas Democrats are leaving Corpus Christi with one message. They believe 2026 is their opportunity to compete statewide. Thousands of delegates filled up the Hilliard Center through the weekend, attending workshops focused on organizing, voter outreach, and campaign strategy ahead of November. The leaders also addressed issues affecting Texas, including education, healthcare, immigration, voting rights, and even Coastal Bend's ongoing water challenge.
Are the blue wave. And Democrats, this next great wave of Texas is beginning right here, right now in Corpus Christi, because it's our time.
Candidates running for statewide office use the convention to introduce themselves and lay out their vision. U.S. Senate candidate James Tallarico urged Democrats to unite around what he called the Texas spirit, while gubernatorial candidate Gina Hinojosa said her campaign will focus on restoring what she described as the American dream and putting working Texans first.
Texans don't like tyrants, and we don't surrender easily.
National Democrats also energized the crowd. Senator Cory Booker praised diversity as a strength, while Senator Bernie Sanders urged Democrats to campaign on economic issues and policies aimed at helping working families.
The American people are hurting. They want to know what the Democratic Party stands for and what the Democratic Party is going to do to improve their lives.
With candidates officially launching statewide campaigns and party leaders outlining their roadmap for November, Democrats say that the work now shifts from the convention floor to organizing voters across Texas.
The Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District is expected to start mosquito spraying today. This will run through Friday, July 10th. Spraying will take place in the Cal Allen area and just north of Robstown. When spraying is taking place, remain indoors when possible. Close windows and doors and bring your pets inside. You can also reduce mosquito breeding by removing any standing water, using insect repellent, and wearing long sleeves and pants during dawn and dusk hours.
A local Catholic church is repairing extensive damage after copper thieves targeted their air conditioning unit. Surveillance video from St. Teresa Catholic Church shows two men stealing the copper tubing. Father Joseph Wynn spotted the men after he saw Freon leaking from the cut pipes. He called 911 and police recognized the suspects from the video. 41-year-old Joshua Serrera and 43-year-old Rick Gonzalez are now charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. The brand Total Nutrition Incorporated is voluntarily recalling several products over possible salmonella exposure. Those include TN Vitamins 100% organic moringa capsules and 100% organic moringa powder. No illnesses have been reported to date. The products were sold online through major retailers including Amazon, Walmart, and Target, and also on TikTok and the company's website.
I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice. For one unforgettable afternoon, age was just a number as the Alice Housing Authority rolled out its 3rd annual senior prom.
With music filling the room, these seniors took to the dance floor. Photos were taken to remember the memories made with friends. For many of these seniors, it was a prom night they never had the chance to experience when they were younger.
Pues quisiera que hubiera habido, ¿verdad? No había esas ocasiones, pero sí quisiera que hubiera habido algo porque es algo muy bonito.
Annabelle Barrera Alanis tells me she attended school in Mexico, where a prom wasn't part of her school experience. Now, she wouldn't miss this event.
Mi opinión es que es algo muy bonito para los residentes de aquí, de High Rise, y es algo especial para que la gente venga y se divierta y pase un buen tiempo.
She says it's a dream come true for many seniors. The event gave them a chance to dress up, dance, and celebrate life, proving that some of the best memories can be made at any age. Janice Rounds also missed out on prom when she was younger, but she says it's never too late to make new memories.
When I didn't go to school, to go to my prom, at least, now I'm older, it's better. I liked it.
Round says the best part of the day was simply being surrounded by friends, music, and the community.
Well, it'll be something to enjoy, have fun, enjoy the food, enjoy the people.
Everyone I spoke with told me they hope to continue the tradition going for years to come. I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice, Chris 6 News.
The first case of New World screwworm is now confirmed in Jim Hogg County. County Judge Juan Carlos Guerrera says that the discovery happened southwest of Hebronville. He says that there is no need to panic, but residents should stay vigilant. Officials are urging livestock owners to inspect their cattle for any signs of screwworm. Now, ranchers must also follow all quarantine protocols to help stop the spread.
Feeling shortchanged by your auto insurance company? You're not alone. A lot of drivers are shocked to find out that the check they receive from their insurance company after a collision is not enough to cover all the damage.
It bent the tie rod. There's some damage to my wheel.
Lawrence Bailey never thought hitting an embankment would cause so much damage.
The lower control arm was bent.
The repair bill for his Mercedes,
$2,900 something odd dollars.
The shop he decided to take it to used original Mercedes, or OEM parts. That stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. But Bailey learned his insurance only covers aftermarket or reproduced parts made by a third party.
And I also didn't know that it had to be aftermarket because I had never seen that clause on my insurance.
Which means insurance sent him a check for only $947. To pay the rest.
How much of a loan did you have to take out?
$1,958.
To get the car back.
To get the car back.
Glendale Body Shop manager Tyler Dameron.
We have to re-hand shape these fenders.
Says insurance companies often base repair estimates on aftermarket parts, not OEM. Why? Aftermarket parts are cheaper.
None of those parts have been crash tested. None of those parts are warranted under the manufacturer's warranty.
If you want OEM parts and insurance won't cover them, Dameron says you have options. First, hire an independent appraiser.
Could an appraiser possibly get you original parts?
Yes. An appraiser definitely can get you original parts.
Before you ever get into a wreck, consider adding an OEM endorsement to your policy.
You might be spending between $100 and $200 over the year for an OEM endorsement, but it's going to save you thousands in the long run if you have a claim.
You and your shop can always choose OEM parts, but if your insurance won't cover the full price, you'll pay out of pocket.
If you have 2 or 3 bills like that, that'll wipe you out.
So you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
Tesla has quietly settled a lawsuit over a fatal 2023 crash in Arizona involving its self-driving system. 71-year-old Jonna Story was struck and killed by a Tesla Model Y while helping direct traffic. The settlement ends a case filed by her daughter. The terms were not disclosed. The crash prompted a federal safety investigation that has since escalated, with regulators warning Tesla's technology may fail to detect hazards in poor visibility. The company says it has upgraded its cameras and continues to work with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Lululemon's bruising boardroom battle is over. Shareholders have elected 3 management-backed directors, including former Levi Strauss CEO Chip Bergh, in a settlement with founder Chip Wilson. 2 of Wilson's own nominees also joined the board, bringing its strength to 11. The deal gives incoming CEO Heidi O'Neill space to refocus the athleisure brand amid falling sales, rising competition, and a stock price that's been cut in half over the past year.
Football managers have to prepare for penalty shootouts, and the one thing many have learned the hard way is that it just cannot be left until the last minute.
If this is the first time you're thinking about the penalty shootout, you're way too late. And your probability of winning with your team, in my opinion, is considerably below 50%. So how do we set up a plan for a penalty shootout? What is our psychological plan? How do we win this battle with this opposing team? How do we dominate the opponents in different phases of the shootout?
Of course, they'll always need to be flexible, but they need to have a plan. And the calmer they remain, the better the outcome will be.
And the manager should definitely not leave it up to the players themselves. The manager knows better than anyone, and the manager needs to spend his attention and his time on communicating the plan. It needs to be very clear to everyone involved what they're supposed to do. And also the manager needs to provide proper psychological support for the players also at this moment.
How would you stack your 1 to 5? Where do the strongest go? Where do the weakest go?
You want to make sure that your best penalty takers for sure will be featured in this event. And the safest way to do that is to stack your best penalty takers early. Most teams tend to put their most senior players at number 1 because you really want to have a good start to a penalty shootout. That can do a lot for your team, and it can do the opposite for the opponent team. And other players, they know that they want to take a penalty shot, but they're much more comfortable with a less, let's call it high-profile shot, if something like that exists in the shootout, on number 2 or number 3. We know that shots number 4, number 5, these shots tend to be more critical than others, because those shots are typically the shots where if you miss, you will instantly lose the shootout, or if you score, you will instantly win the shootout.
The Houston Astros battled back to beat the Detroit Tigers in extra innings. Detroit took an early 3-0 lead, but Houston, they roared back with home runs from Ronel Delgado and Isaac Paredes to tie the game. So in the 10th inning, Christian Walker launched a 3-run shot to put the Astros ahead for good. Houston wins 7-5. The Texas Rangers held off the Toronto Blue Jays for a thrilling road win. Jock Pederson started the game with a bang by hitting a home run on the very first pitch. Toronto tied the game in the 8th inning with a 2-run shot from Nathan Luce. Texas took the lead right back in the 9th when Jared Klenick scored on a wild pitch. And Brandon Nimmo settled the 3-2 victory with an incredible catch against the outfield wall.
The Travelers Championship is heading to a playoff after rain delayed a final round. Scotty Scheffler sank a long birdie putt on the 4th hole to take an early lead. He later added another birdie on the 13 to reach 21 under par. Victor Hovland tied it up with a birdie on 15 after play resumed, and Hovland missed a chance to win on 18. Scheffler then saved par to force a playoff tomorrow. Summer is the season of travel, but if you're planning to cross time zones on a trip,
it can really take a toll on your sleep and vacation. Take it from the Hoffmans. We've been there. Mandy Gaither shows us top tips from a sleep specialist on how to recover from and prevent jet lag.
From road trips to flights, for many it's time to travel, but those time zones can be tricky.
Jet lag is a temporary disruption of your body's internal clock.
Sleep specialist Michelle Drerup with Cleveland Clinic says your body may be in a new place but your internal clock is still at home. She says it can lead to sleep disruptions, daytime sleepiness, low energy, irritability, and digestive issues.
Already being sleep deprived can make it even worse.
Drerup says jet lag relief starts before you even travel. Get adequate sleep leading up to the trip. If you're traveling east, she says a sleep shift may help some. That means going to bed and waking up a little earlier, but she says that can get complicated. So instead, she recommends focusing on things you do while traveling.
Things like making sure you're staying hydrated, drinking a lot of fluids, but maybe limiting alcohol, which can worsen sleep quality and make you more dehydrated.
Drerup says to be careful about relying on caffeine. It's a temporary solution that may make sleep more difficult later. And when you arrive at your destination, adapt to the local schedule as much as possible. If you're flying overnight, she says to sleep on the plane if you can. And if you arrive in the morning, avoid napping. Instead, stay active and seek sunlight.
Getting time outdoors, natural light, is the strongest cue that helps reset our circadian clock.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
There are several jet lag calculators available for free online that can be personalized by entering where you're leaving from and your destination, along with flight times.
It essentially provides an itinerary for when you head out on your trip and when you return. It offers insights on when to seek light and when to sleep.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
To start your 6 things to know, Three Rivers will hold a sandbag distribution at 9 at Recycle Yard. There will be a limit of 4 sandbags per family.
The Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District is expected to start mosquito spraying today. It'll run through Friday, July 10th. Spraying is going to take place in the Calallen area, just north of Robstown.
Because of the 4th of July holiday, the city of Kingsville is changing up their sanitation schedule this week. On the residential side, trash pickup will take place today and Wednesday. For commercial locations, pickup will be on Thursday.
Well, the city of Rockport is celebrating America's 250th birthday with a pool party this evening. It's going to take place over the Richard Hedrick Pool. Costs $10 per person or $5 for season pass holders. The family night pool party starts at 6.
This year, Flag for a Flag will take place on Thursday. You'll have the opportunity to exchange your old or tattered flags for new ones. You can exchange your flag at one of the locations listed on your screen.
Now, the brand Total Nutrition Incorporated voluntarily recalling several products over possible salmonella exposures. Those include TN Vitamin 100% Organic Moringa capsules and 100% Organic Moringa powder. No illnesses have been reported, and those are your 6 things you need to know before you go.
Well, Coastal Bend, looking at our rain chances through the next few days, they are going to be towards the bottom of the board with that ridge of high pressure overhead. Maybe seeing a sea breeze shower try to set up out there, but the by far majority of us going to be staying dry as we're heading through the final days of June now and into the first days of July. Here's how it's shaping up on the 7-day forecast. 91 degrees as we're heading out there tomorrow, and then really only 91 to 93 degrees for the whole forecast for daytime highs with plenty of sunshine and overnight lows in those upper 70s. Either way, going to be a toasty one. Hoping you have a great rest of your Monday, Coastal Bend.